Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers and subscribers, at the channel we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because it saves lives. That is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives on this channel. We at this channel aid criminals, their financiers, their supporters, enablers, and the likes with a passion, and we do not want them over here. Yes, let us repeat ourselves. We do not want any criminal supporters over here. Please, we do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you, the criminal supporters, enablers, financiers, and all the likes, to go to prison or madness. Let me repeat myself. We at the Jamaica Young Police channel, we do not want the criminal supporters and their circle over here. We want you to go to prison or madden. Moving on, yes, to our video. That a police witness who testified against Sergeant Russell Robinson. Yes, Sergeant Russell Robinson, was a policeman that was selling arms, to criminals in East Kingston. He was arrested and charged by 5 police officers, and he had begged them to kill him. And this was the poster child for the police force back then. Unfortunately, people, Jamaica is a criminal's paradise. People who knew Sergeant Russell Robinson and a photograph of him, they don't want to share it with the Jamaica Young Police channel because they said that, we are anti-police. I didn't know that by exposing criminals, you're anti-police. So we don't care who's the guy, because we at the Jamaica Young Police channel, we hate criminals with a passion. And this police officer, Sergeant Russell Robinson, if he wasn't caught by the police officers then, imagine how many lives would have lost at the hands of this man who was behind the scene making crazy money from selling guns that were recovered during shootout with gunmen in Jamaica. And this man were recycling the guns onto the street. Well, fortunately, he was the only police officer who was arrested and charged and convicted with, being a gun dealer in Jamaica. But he was not the only one. There was a sergeant, a detective sergeant. He's dead. And maybe if he was arrested and charged for what he had done, sold an illegal firearm, 9mm pistol to a young man, and he was shot and killed in a shootout with police, maybe he would be alive. And guess what? Who the police are upset with? Not the police who sell the young man the illegal firearm. They are upset with me for bringing it to the fore to expose it and let the Jamaican people know that this policeman, because he was connected to the upper echelon of the police force, yes, Commissioner of Police Owen Ellington, because I don't know what kind of secret he had for him, allowed him to retire with his full benefits. That's how it is. Instead of let this man go being arrested and charged for selling this young man the illegal firearm and go to prison. And we need to stop those cronies. And as I mean, look, if I'm in charge of a department and somebody had done something like that, trust me, you could not get any break from me. You going to face the jugger. You're going to face your judgment, because that's the kind of person I am. You understand? And they cut the man some slack, and this man was able to retire after destroying the lives of a young man. So you are going to hear that a police witness, yes, that's him right down here at the bottom, Sheldon Williams, yes, Constable Sheldon Williams, he was a very good police officer. But guess what? This police officer, he testified against Sergeant Russell and ended up losing his life because of his testimony. Yes, and you'll be like, yes, this young police officer testified against a crooked police, a criminal police officer. And in the long run, it was police officer, the one at the top, yes, Constable Shane Francis, claimed that he was his friend, and he's the one that was paid allegedly to kill the policeman at the bottom. You understand? Constable Williams. That's why when we were in the police force, we don't trust anyone. Only me, myself, and I. And the only police officer I really, trust and socialize with was Bobby Williams. So we continue the journey. So one of the police witnesses who testified against Sergeant Russell Robinson was killed by one of his so-called close friends, who is and was a police officer named Constable Shane Francis, whom it is alleged he had received money to set him up and made sure that he killed him because of his testimony of telling the truth about Sergeant Russell Robinson's action of thieving the guns from the police armory at Elliston Road and selling it to the criminal underworld. Constable Sheldon Williams, affectionately called Sylvan, who is from Barclaytown, Gale, Post Office, St. Mary. The policeman was labeled an informer by other police officers for being truthful and refused to ignore his oath of office or to take any money or bribe to not testify against his supervisor. The witness worked at the police armory and stores at Elliston Road Police Station, Kingston, for more than 4 years and was one of the main witnesses in the case to show how many guns that were missing from the police armory that Sergeant Russell Robinson had sold to criminals in Kingston Eastern Police Division and to other criminals in Jamaica. So what they had right here, hey, look, this man had a gun shop, in Jamaica, illegal gun shop, in Eastern Kingston, but you're going to hear. After Constable Sheldon Williams was killed by Constable Shane Francis, about 5 years later, yes, Constable Shane Francis himself was killed in a hail of bullets by the son of a police inspector at a party in Ocho-Rios. The case started in February 2010 and one bright morning outside a house on Munster Road in East Kingston, where police seized 19 high-power weapons and nearly 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The cop, arrested by colleagues in massive arms find, a police sergeant by the name of Russell Robinson, was among 11 persons detained following the seizure of 19 high-power weapons and close to 10,000 rounds of ammunition at a house in East Kingston. But amidst the shock and shame that the sergeant's arrest brought on the constabulary force, police also felt a sense of pride that his plea for his colleagues not to arrest him was ignored by the 5 cops who smashed what a sizable gun-running operation was. The guns and ammunition were allegedly stolen from the police armory and was evidently to be sold to criminals. So this policeman, he had no regard for people's lives. You understand? All he cared about was money. Because on God's earth, you are a police officer and your job is to serve, protect, reassure, observe, detect and prevent crime. Not because he's not a detective, but he's a police officer, so that's a part of his oath. And yet still, this man was out there selling illegal guns to criminals, and the same gun would turn around and kill even this policeman and his family and his co-worker and other Jamaicans, all in the name of money. So it's when people pursuing their main goal in any organization, any job or anything that you're doing, and the main goal is money. You know that the moral bankruptcy is right there, because once it's a pursuit of money, there is no ethics, honesty, decency or moral standard right there, because it's all about money. Because when everything is all about money, you will do anything for money. That's why a lot of men in Jamaica become battyman. Yeah, the whole heap of Jamaicans became rear admiral. I want to kill a say thing. A lot of artists them are rear admiral because they love likes, and enough of these youths who go to party because they want NSC, they want, when they lose all of those things, anything goes. You don't have no moral compass. You understand? So as a result of the early morning bust on Munster Road off Mountain View Avenue, according to the police, they all include several M16 rifles, shotguns, Uzi submachine guns, pistols, revolver, and ballistic and police ballistic vest. So this man was entrusted at the nation's armory for the police, and he was out there selling M16 rifles, shotguns, Uzi submachine guns, pistols, revolver, and police ballistic vest. Why wasn't there any cameras inside this place? Technology have been, they have been improving on technology every month. You understand? So why wasn't there any cameras inside here? Why I'm telling you. So Constable Williams testified that approximately 9,600 to 9,000 rounds were found on the premises on Munster Road, and another 600 rounds on premises on Mountain View Avenue. Now, you would think that every law-abiding citizen and police officer would be happy for the bust of these illegal guns and ammunition. No. Sergeant Russell Robinson was the poster child of the Jamaica Constabulary Force then, and had friends in high places in the upper echelon of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. A young, honest, decent, ethical, trusting, God-fearing young man by the name of Constable Sheldon Williams' life would be changed forever because of his testimony given against this criminal policeman Russell Robinson. Sergeant Russell Robinson friends, police friends, not known to Constable Williams, would have lured him to a boat ride in Ocherias where Constable Sean Francis there was a police party. They would have set a trap for him, and the same policeman, Shane Francis, who came to Constable Williams' house and coerced him to attend the party, would end up being the same one who killed him. So you see, that's why, hey, look, I never trusted in the police, when I was in the police force, So this young man, the one at the bottom, Williams, he returned to Jamaica the Thursday from America. So he just came to have, and then in a few weeks he would return. We would take up residency in America because of his testimony against Sergeant Russell Robinson. And he had received several death threats. And you soon hear about the police sergeant. He's in America and I used to be in Sentan. But he ran away too, because he was one of them who was involved in the killing of this policeman. And so he's in America. We'll soon tell you his name. So they set the trap, for him, and Shane Francis killed him. That's the one at the top, the one who have this scarf around his neck. He's the one who killed the one at the bottom. But fate would not, fate would have it, as we so we continue the journey. You understand? So always remember that in Jamaica, 9 out of 10 times, someone loses their lives, someone close to the victim always a part of the conspiracy to kill them. I too have been lucky to dodge the same conspiracy because of not trusting anyone, not even my shadow. Constable Sheldon Williams trusted Constable Shane Francis would cause his so-called friend would be his killer. So the reason why I said that I have dodged that bullet, I was a police cadet and it was 13 of us. 2 of the cadets died and others, for some reason they are not serving anymore. So if there's only one person from our orbit as cadets that were there at the Jamaica Police Academy 1987, 1988 that is still serving, and his name is Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary Mackenzie. So there's a guy who was a cadet. His name is Christopher Brother J. Ebert. He's a deportee from Canada and a drugs dealer in America. I don't know how he got clean police record to come to America and become a United States citizen. Yes, Christopher Brother J. Ebert. He was arrested twice in Canada, but I'll give you a different story about that. Apart from I had received death threat via one of his emissary, a lawyer in Jamaica who was a police officer and a cadet. His name is Devon Darkbrown. So the thing is that the reason why I said that I was able to dodge the same bullet as that Constable Williams did not dodge is that So as I've stated before, it was 13 of us as skeleton, and 2 of them died. Dad died, and Big Gut Elick died. You know, we call that Mama Drunk. You know, that's how, you know, as in Jamaica, it's a different thing, because some people would say bullying and that. You learn how to deal with those things, because that's how you're going to be effective as police officer out there. Because somebody tell you about your mother, why you take up your gun and shoot them. So they train you from the Jamaica Police Academy how to handle such kind of stress, or such kind of, you know, when somebody is tormenting you or torturing you with words. Because words it like, I don't have feet, it hurts, you know. So unbeknownst to me, I did not know that this man, Christopher Brother J. Ebert, wanted to kill me from in the 1990s. I remember even vividly one time, myself and Bobby Reds, we were walking through Seabright Gardens, and I saw this man, and that was before he migrated to America, sitting on a rail in Seabright Gardens, and I exchanged pleasantry with him and we talked. And if my memory serves me, I had spoken to him even after that, not knowing that the man wanted to kill me until 2020, when Devon Darkbone had echoed such words, not because he liked me, he did it because I had exposed him and embarrassed him to show that he had no moral compass or ethics or decency or anything like that. An attorney at law in Jamaica, because he was trying to prod himself as this, you know, guy that was larger than me, and I wasn't trying to compare myself with the man, you understand? And he was trying to tell me how successfully I have no problem with people being successful. So I was showing that I am totally different from him, although we were friends on the campus. And I was telling him the reason why, when I was leaving the campus, when I left the campus, I have never left the campus with him and another cadet named Dave Walters. So it was 3 of us used to walk on the campus. Dark Brown, and Dave Walters and myself, all 3 of us would walk on the campus. But I would never go through the gates of the Jamaica Police Academy with Yeah, so you know, this is part 3 of, you know, the Sergeant Russell Robinson, the gun dealer who had sold, you know, who was arrested and charged by members of the Kingston Eastern Police Division with over 19 high-power weapons, over 10,000 rounds. And, you know, one of the witness, that's Constable Williams, that's the man right there that you're looking at, he was killed. He was a witness in the matter, and he was killed by that man at the top. That's the man who lured him to a party, a boat party, and then they had conspired, planned, and killed him and execute their plans and kill this young man because he was an honest, decent, ethical police officers. He was and the police officers that killed this police officer, they hated the man because he had testified against this crooked policeman. And you would think that the police would celebrate him as being a good police officer, but you know, in Jamaica, when you are somebody who tell the truth, you are hated. So Jamaica is a criminal's paradise because our people have been cultured to be criminals, and it was done intentional, and it started from the 1970s, whether or not you want to believe it. Some people would say it go all the way from before, and no, it's from the 1970s when it got roots. And then it manifests itself as the years go, as decades go by. So for a policeman to testify against his colleague, would you think that his colleague would be celebrating him and this man would put on a pedestal? No, it's not. And we can see it. Sergeant Hubert Llewellyn, it's going 14 years now since he had testified against Darrell Vaz, a JLP, LGBTQ plus minister of government. And the same policeman hasn't received any promotion because how dare him to be an informer? Because Jamaica is a criminal's paradise, so the people in Jamaica has been cultured to be criminals, and it's very, very sad. Have yourself a beautiful day. Part 4 will coming up shortly. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.